Baby, I'm that guy. Nothing off limits when I cross the line. I talk shit when I'm justified. They wanna get it, I'ma give it to them. Just in time. Who's that? Baby, I'm that guy. Nothing off limits when I cross the line. I talk shit when I'm justified. They wanna get it, I'ma give it to them. Just in time.
I don't understand.
Oh, so many
there was
things
a loose connection.
I don't understand.
Sorry.
You are just in time for some Just in Time. Welcome to the show. Can everybody hear me okay? Before we go any further, I want to make sure our audio is working. You guys heard the theme song okay? Everything is working so far?
Please.
Comment in the comments
Lines
section.
are
We just had a
broken.
weird, you guys missed it. We had a weird thing.
Come on, all one person, please.
All right.
Please
As always, I'm joined by Kels and Andrew. Say hello.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hello, everybody. And what are they saying? Can they hear us?
So far, everything's good.
We're
Okay.
good, it says.
All right.
I guess we're good.
All right. I'm comfy over here. You see this?
You
Yeah,
look
I
very
had to
I'm like
move.
sprawled out.
I had to move the camera all around because his stupid ass wanted to lounge over there.
Yeah,
You look comfy.
I am. I'm very comfortable.
His legs are up and everything.
We have a lot to talk about today. We're gonna have kind of a serious show, you know, but we're gonna do some other stuff first, and then we'll get into the serious stuff because I wanna like start off with some light, easy stuff and go from there. So, how was everybody's week? You guys had a week off. We didn't have a show last week, so
Well, it was
We
a
had a
paid
little break.
vacation, though. Oh, thank God.
What did
yeah.
I do? I did something. Oh, that's right. We put Patrick in drag.
Oh, you wait. What?
Did you not see? Hang
I
on.
didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah,
You put Patrick in drag.
we did for something. I can't even remember what it was.
The Savage thing.
My
It was no. The Savage thing's tonight.
Oh,
Did he shave?
Yeah, everything.
No.
wow.
He went all out. Huh?
Wow. Oh, see, now I wish that we had that on.
Okay.
I wish I had prepared for that.
No, we should have had that on the
Hang
screen.
on.
Sorry,
Damn.
guys.
Hey, hang on.
Trust us, it's
Hang
good.
on. I'm a pro at this.
Damn. Oh.
Let
There
me
it is.
focus.
There it is.
Focus. Nope. Focus. You can do it. I have faith. Hang on.
All right.
Wait. No. Wait. I got it. We'll make it.
We got this, guys.
It won't
Oh, yeah.
focus, but
That's all right. There
whatever.
he is.
He was a sexy beast.
There he is.
Delicious.
All right. So, you guys ready to have a show?
I'm ready to have a show.
All right. Let's have a show then.
Let's have a show.
Yeah. All right. So let's start off with things that are trending in the news. We'll talk about some topics in the news. Did you guys hear about Ketchup Guy?
What the fuck is ketchup guy?
So Ketchup Guy, Heinz was reaching out. Heinz was looking for a guy that is being referred to as, they're calling him Ketchup Guy. Okay. So basically what happened was this guy was lost at sea, and his name is Elvis Francois, and he was lost at sea in a boat, and he survived on a bottle of ketchup.
Yes.
He ate ketchup to survive.
It's got everything.
That's all he had was ketchup. So
Is this a
so
marketing
Heinz
ploy or
so
a real dude?
This is a real thing. So Heinz is looking for this guy. They posted on Instagram and they said to whoever finds this message, we need your help tracking down an amazing man with an amazing story. You may remember Elvis Francois as the brave sailor who survived on nothing but ketchup and spices while adrift at sea for 24 days. Well, Heinz wants to celebrate his safe return home and help him buy a new boat. So they want to buy him a boat
They want to buy him.
because
But
Yeah, because that's the first thing I want to do after being stranded at sea is get back into the ocean. Let's do that.
Let's do
Thanks
that.
for the boat.
yes, they want to buy him a boat.
Wouldn't it be funny if it wasn't Heinz ketchup though?
It was like Cane's.
It was
Yeah.
Cane's, you know, like.
Yeah, so they want to buy him a boat. So they asked the internet to help track him down, figure out who he was, and yeah, they're gonna buy him a boat.
Yep.
I'm on a boat.
Fucking great.
I'm on a boat.
Good for you.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah,
That-
it's very weird.
That's definitely
The boat.
unique.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. Anyway,
He's a fucking ketchup guy.
I can't get over it. You buy the guy a boat. That's like
I'll laugh like hell if it is Cane's though. If it's not even Heinz ketchup.
That's like that pilot Sully if he retired and they paid him his severance in planes.
Jesus. So another thing in that's happening soon is the new Scream movie's coming out. You guys
Scream, what is it now? 7 or 6?
it's
407.
479.
So it's 6. So the new Scream poster came out, and they made it. He looks like it looks like a Subway.
Yeah.
Because it's set in New
Not
York.
the sandwiches.
So if you look at all the different lines, those are all the different movies that came out, and all the stops are names of people that were killed in the movies.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I heard,
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle
Yeah.
Gellar.
I heard Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. coming back for the Scream.
You need to stop.
I know.
You really need to stop. It's not even funny.
What do you mean?
It's not even funny.
They're the same movie.
Anyway, so this movie poster came out, and it's weird. Now, Kels, I don't know if you can do it, but can you do me a favor and zoom into the top left part of this poster? No, yeah, there you go.
Top left.
Zoom into the top left part of the poster, because there's one name on there.
Yeah, make it completely cover
There's
me.
one name on there that's a different color than the rest of the names. So you see where it says Billy Loomis?
Yes.
And you look to the left of it, what does it say?
To the left of it is
Stu Macher, right?
Yeah, Stu Mark.
So if you look, Stu's name is like a different color than the rest of them.
We're just gonna make it huge.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh.
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh.
Hang on.
Okay.
Look, I'm
So
working
if you look,
with his.
no.
There's so much shit. I have to lock a lot of stuff. I'm gonna start doing that.
There you go. So if you look, it's
Oh, the dot is a
his
different
name.
color.
Yeah, it's like
It's like a pink.
very, very slightly a different color. So the rumor is that he's going to come back in this movie. So that's what they're saying. And he's the one that plays Shaggy. He had a TV fall on his head or whatever.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the movie, and
the one who plays Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Matthew
Oh,
Lillard.
okay.
He's
Yep,
been out
Matthew
a lot
Lillard.
lately.
So they're
Dude, Matthew
saying
Lillard's the shit.
they're saying that he might make a comeback in this movie. And there's actually I guess there's a spoiler that's been going around where they already know who the killer is, and like
No.
so Ghostface made like an advertisement, and they're like asking people not to ruin the movie for people that are like avid Scream fans. Like I actually really like the Scream franchise, and I'm a huge fan, and I think they did a really good job with the last trailer.
Yeah,
but you know what? Let's watch the new trailer. So this is the Scream 6 trailer. That's for the new Scream.
Please help us. Just down the line here, girl.
You got a problem here, guy?
I had this secret. There's a darkness inside of me. It followed me here. And it's gonna keep coming for us. We share a certain history. This isn't like any other ghost face.
What is this place?
A shrine. We've got to lure him in. We execute him.
Hello.
Let's play a game.
You know you're like the
Wrong
10th
movie.
guy to try this, right? It never works out for the dipshit in the mask.
Maybe.
That's good for
But there's never been one like me, Gail. I'm something different.
That's why I'm gonna shoot you in the head.
You want me. So let's finish this.
Guys?
You see the pinhead?
So
So that's Scream 6. First of all, Courtney Cox, honey baby, stop with the Botox.
So Kirby's coming back. I don't know if you guys are familiar with who Kirby is. Hayden Panettiere is coming back for this movie. So they originally they made it seem like she died in the movie, but they brought her back for this movie, and apparently she didn't die. But like this whole movie, I guess they're changing it up. Ghostface uses a gun in this one.
I was gonna
We
say
saw
something
that.
about that.
Yeah,
Blew some dude across the room.
Yep. Apparently, there's a shrine where like all the previous Ghostface costumes are like kept.
So, question: since I've never watched Scream, it was never my deal.
Yep.
Is Ghostface supernatural, or is it just a dude in a mask?
It's just a dude in a mask.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
But
if
it's
you were-
different
different.
people.
Yeah, it's different people.
It's
so
different
like,
people.
spoiler alert for those of you that have not watched the franchise. So the first one, it was like, Billy and Stu, and Billy was Nev Campbell's boyfriend in the movie, and then the second one, I think it was
Stu is Matthew Lillard, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the second one, see, I don't remember which ones were which, but I know that in one of them it was Billy's mother that was the killer, and then there were like people that were related to them that were the killer, and like so every movie, there's a different person that is the Scream killer. But it's like Scooby Doo where like they unmask him and figure out who he is. You know what I mean? So yeah. So for this one, and yes, you said something about Wednesday Addams. So Jenna Ortega, is that her name?
Yes.
Is in this movie. She's she plays the new like final girl. Her and her sister in the movie, and her sister in the movie is supposedly Billy Loomis's kid, and so that's like the connection.
Okay.
So, but I mean, like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Scream franchise. I think that they did a lot for the the scary movie community. When I was younger, they really they're a staple for my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, who didn't have the
Well,
Ghostface mask
That was
on
like
Halloween?
he's like, "Do you want to play a game?" And I was like, "Wrong movie." It's
Is that
don't
what he
you
said?
like
Do you wanna
scary
play a game?
movies?
Yeah. What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to say.
Yeah, no. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. But that's coming out I think March 10th. And are you guys like movie people? Do you still like go to
movie.
do you go to the
I don't
movies though? Do you
physically go to
physically go to the
theaters.
movies?
Yeah. Yep.
You do? You physically go
Just
to the
went.
movies?
Yep.
No shit. What did you go see?
I went and saw Ant-Man Quantumanium.
Oh, okay. All
It
right.
was decent. I fell asleep.
I just tried watching the first one. So like I'm in this new kick now where I'm watching like all the superhero movies like the Avengers and stuff. And I had never seen Ant-Man, so I went in last night and I tried watching it and I fell asleep. I was so bored.
See, I loved it.
Yeah?
Because I mean, it's definitely not the strongest out of
No,
all of them,
no,
but like
it's so good.
it's fun.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd's
It's
amazing.
Paul Rudd.
Who doesn't
Yeah.
love Paul Rudd?
I mean, I like Paul Rudd, but like I just, I don't know.
I haven't
I
yet.
think the first one you do kind of gotta get through, but it's worth it. It's still a good movie. Yeah, like she said, it's not the best out of the entire catalog.
Yeah,
but-
definitely not. But like, I haven't physically gone to a theater since before COVID.
Yeah.
Like
They must have they've lost a lot of money, I'm
Oh,
assuming,
God, yeah.
since COVID.
AMC almost went out of business.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. But they're doing so many things. I think there was a new movie theater that was being built. I don't remember where it was, but I guess they're putting beds instead of
Oh,
recliners.
I've seen it. Yeah, because they've got a couple of those in Japan,
Yeah.
and like they're really badass. You sit and you cuddle and like.
Yeah, but what people are just gonna like fuck. No?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the first thing everybody thought of when you saw those. But
yeah.
I don't know.
They're just gonna like they're not gonna watch the movie.
I love
It's
the,
like
the
Netflix
token
and
asexual.
Is
It's
that the
just
name
like,
of the place? Netflix
oh,
and
you
chill?
can cuddle.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. Another movie that's coming out actually that I'm excited about. So Scream 6, I'm definitely excited for. Another movie that I'm excited about that's coming out. You know, they're doing a lot of like live action remakes for Disney movies,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I'm getting annoyed with it though.
Why?
I just like I want some original shit. Man.
No,
I guess.
exactly.
I guess.
Like Practical Magic too. Like who,
Oh yeah.
who the fuck
yeah,
cares?
that's gonna be a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They are
and
doing
it's
a
got a
practical
magic.
star-studded cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come
No,
on.
I'm looking forward to it.
I mean,
We're
But
being
I
cynical
mean,
here.
like Little Mermaid, they're doing a live action. That one's coming out soon.
my invisible friend is nodding as well.
But so this is another one that's coming out that Disney is coming out with that I'm actually pretty excited for. Here, I'll just play it for you.
Oh, I know what this is, and I am excited for it.
Tell me, how did you come to Neverland?
Are you?
Los pues.
Every last one of us. But you're not all boys. So? What is this place? It's home.
Welcome to 2023.
Peter found it. Just like he found all of us.
It's like he found me. Peter Pan?
Were you expecting someone else?
What do you say, boys? You ready for an adventure? It looks very far away.
It's closer than you think.
There, look!
What is it that you're afraid of, my love?
Perhaps I don't want to grow up.
Hold the past in your heart, but where you go from here, it's up to you.
Wendy, Moira, Angela, darling. Where is Peter Pan?
I like how we both leaned in to see who was playing Hook.
Peter Pan and Wendy.
So there was a live action Peter Pan, and it had
Yeah, Hook
Lucius
with
Malfoy.
Dustin
Yeah.
Hoffman was.
No,
oh
no,
wait,
that's,
what are you talking
you're thinking
about?
of
That's
Hook.
Hook.
I'm talking about the live action Peter Pan with the guy who plays Lucius Malfoy. Jeremy Sumter, is that his name?
Okay.
No,
you.
Jeremy Sumter was the Peter Pan. Thank you, Invisible
Thank you,
Friend.
voice.
This is my imaginary friend off to the side. Yeah, the guy who played Lucius Malfoy played Hook. It was really good. I liked it.
Oh wait, was that little blonde kid?
With the curly
Yeah,
hair.
yeah, yeah. Okay, all right, I remember. Yeah, I mean they've done a lot of Peter Pan remakes.
I
and
know,
stuff
Carly, a
before, but-
native tiger lily.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the uproar that Tinkerbell's black. Where's that uproar gonna
It's
be?
I'm sure
It's
it'll
gonna
be a
happen.
thing. I'm sure it'll be a
It's gonna
thing.
happen.
It is what it is. I mean, that's
is.
just
People suck.
that's where we're at now.
I'm happy for it.
I'm excited
I
for
don't
it.
care.
I'm excited for it.
It's a person who can act. Congratulations, they're a fairy. They're not fucking real. Like,
Speaking of Disney, so I had a thought the other day. And
did
this
that
is
feel?
this is so fucking random, I know. But all right, so you know like Mickey and the gang, right? Mickey and Friends, right? So
Yeah.
Mickey. All right, so this is an issue that I have. So like Mickey has Minnie, right? And Donald has Daisy, right? But can you please explain to me why? The mouse has the mouse and the duck has the duck. But for some reason, Goofy gets stuck with a cow. Like, can you explain that to me? Goofy's supposed to be a dog,
so,
right?
Yeah. So, question:
So
is the cow Max's mom?
Ooh, look at them, though.
wait, so does that make
Maury?
Is Max half cow?
Maury?
is Max half cow, half dog?
I don't know.
Isn't that weird though? Like, why would Disney do that? Where they make Mickey and Minnie mouses, they make Donald and Daisy ducks,
Mickey and Minnie
mouses, mices,
Mises.
and then they pair up a dog with a cow.
Well, he's Goofy.
I guess.
Goofy's Goofy.
Maybe they got shit for traditional
I guess.
relationships,
What I find
and then they
weird-
decided.
And
is
then
that
poor Pluto doesn't.
Pluto is a dog, and,
and he
Goofy's
doesn't
a
talk.
talking dog.
Right? How come Pluto doesn't talk but Goofy talks?
Mm-hmm.
Bluto.
Bluto is from Popeye. You're thinking of
Bluto's
Pete.
from Popeye. Oh, you're thinking of Pete. And
Pete.
did you know that
Pete is a cat.
Pete is a cat without a tail, no less. He doesn't have a tail.
He did.
None of this
he
makes
did,
sense.
When in Steamboat Willie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the OG, he had a tail.
See,
He was obviously a cat. in
I
Steamboat
liked
Willie.
I liked Oswald, and I'm really upset
The rabbit.
that they never did anything with Oswald.
Yeah, they did. They made
Well,
a whole video game, and
Not
then
enough.
they came
Epic
out with
Mickey 2, they reintroduced Oswald.
and then they also came out with a bunch of cartoons too.
And Oswald was in it?
They came out with a bunch of Oswald cartoons.
I like Oswald more than Mickey, personally.
Who doesn't?
I'm just saying. I just,
Patrick just gave me a
Whatever.
couple of Squishmallows of Mickey and Minnie. So
Oh, yeah, that's right, for Valentine's Day.
my very first Squishmallows ever.
Yeah, that was cute. That was cute of him.
I just squishy.
He's like, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Here's a bunch of
Here's
shit.
a million
He was like,
presents.
"Fuck capitalism! I'm just gonna get
Yeah.
her a box of chocolates," and then he comes back with this armful of shit. I did
Poor
good.
thing. I did good.
I did good.
Poor thing. That's so funny. So yeah. So I'm looking. So anyway, getting back to the main topics. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to Scream 6. I'm
Megan
looking forward
Nolet,
to
because
Peter
dogs
and
will hump
Wendy.
anything.
Oh, that's kind of funny though.
There you
It
go.
is funny.
Because dogs will hump anything. That's.
Dogs will
I
hump
mean,
Mm.
it's true. I guess. But whatever. So anyway, we're not gonna do a cancel culture topic this week.
There's nothing to cancel.
I mean,
there's plenty of
there's
things
nothing to
being
cancel,
canceled.
Kels.
There's
Kels,
plenty,
there's nothing to
there's
cancel.
plenty of things that are being canceled,
things
but
being
I mean,
canceled.
we'll talk about all that stuff in a few minutes. But Andrew, I heard that you still had a segment that you wanted to do. So
Yeah, see what I've been doing.
If I sit fully on the couch, my feet don't reach the floor.
Unbeknownst to you, I have been doing a lot of research, and what I've come to find out between most people, especially viewers that we have, everyone wants to know more about you.
oh come on, that's
There's
not true.
so many
About you?
I have.
Who cares
look at
about
this.
Justin?
I have a stack of cue cards here with questions on them for Justin. Now, some of them I did add, and some of them are questions that I want to know, but a lot of these came from fans, and I'm going to just start out with one.
All right, I guess. Yeah.
We'll start out. All right. We'll start out with
so
an
you're gonna ask me questions.
We're
and
gonna
I'm
ask you
gonna
some
answer.
questions.
All right, and I mean, what kinds of questions are these? Are these
I'm
like,
gonna say, let's start out with an easy one.
all right,
Any
I'm up for it.
tattoos? Guinevere wants to know.
Any tattoos? Yes,
Yes.
I have 2 tattoos. I have one tattoo on my arm, right here, and it's of a. Well, depending on who you are, determines my answer because
Jack Sparrow.
it kind of looks like a sparrow. It kind of looks like a dove. It kind of looks like a swallow. So if I'm talking to
Do you swallow?
if I'm talking to a gay person, I'll usually say it's a swallow. But the truth be told, I got this tattoo with my one of my best friends, Amanda. She got a matching tattoo on her arm, and it's for 21 Pilots because like they had a whole album
yeah.
where they had the swallow or the sparrow or the dove or whatever, and they were like all over the album. And then the other one that I have is on my back. I have a gecko, and it was my first tattoo. So actually, there's a funny story for that tattoo. I was 18, freshly 18. I had just moved to Martha's Vineyard with my best friend at the time, and she really wanted a tattoo, and she was like, I don't want to go by myself. Will you come with me? And I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'll go with you. And she was like, no, but you have to get a tattoo. And I was like,
Naturally.
all right, I guess. Like, I was like, I don't really have money like that. She was like, I'll pay for your tattoo. And I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, I'll definitely go get one. Sure.
Thanks.
So we were both working at Stop and Shop at the time. We went to the tattoo parlor, and they were like, oh, what do you want? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm like trying to think of the first thing that comes to mind. And I was like, I'll just get like a silhouette of a gecko, like a lizard. I'll get it on my back. And they were like, all right. And she was like, I'm scared. You need to go first. Like, I don't want to do this. You need to go first. So I was like, okay.
I did the same thing
So
with my tattoos.
I went first, and I got the tattoo. And they were like, oh, let me see your ID. I gave them my ID. Did all that. They, did the tattoo. And then I was done. And she pays for the tattoo. And they were like, all right, now it's your turn. And they were like, we need your ID. She pulls out a paper license. And they were like, oh, no, we can't take that.
So she bought you a tattoo.
She bought me a
and that was
tattoo,
that.
and then that was the end of it. She couldn't even get a tattoo.
Did she ever get a tattoo?
Yeah, she got
I'm sure
tattoos
she
later
did.
later
Okay.
on down the road.
That's
but,
funny. So you just
yeah.
went out and got you a tattoo.
Yeah, and for for the longest time, I'm like looking at this tattoo on my back, and I'm like, what? Like, where did I get this idea from? Like, because I drew it out. I was like, oh, this is what I want. Like, whatever. And then I'm at work like a few days later, and I'm like looking up at the aisle in front of me because I worked in the cash office, and I could see the aisle in front of me, and it was like the soda aisle. And I realized that I got the fucking Sobe lizard on my back, and it's because I instinctively just look at it every day, and that's why it was. So, yeah, so I have the Sobe lizard on my back. So that's
awesome.
And that
The
was my first
Sobe one
tattoo.
specifically, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it literally looks like the Sobe lizard.
It does.
So.
It
great.
actually
Yeah.
does.
All right. So.
All right, moving along. This one's from Maggie. It's a quick one. It's just, what's your sign?
My sign. I'm a
Everyone always
Leo.
wants to know that. You're a Leo.
I'm a
There you
Leo.
go, Maggie. He's a Leo.
Wait. Who asked that?
Maggie.
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 Maggie should be watching.
Is that? I mean, do you guys believe that that's a thing? Like, oh, that's such a Virgo thing to do. Like, do you think that that's actually a?
I'm on the
thing?
fence.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence. I'm a little. I do believe that like
I feel like those
energy and gravity and shit does affect like
a
how
lot of
we
it is just so
behave.
specific sometimes that I'm
Yeah,
like,
this-
how can
this-
you deny it?
I think
Yeah.
they're super vague, honestly.
the
like,
specificity I'm
yeah.
not on board with. But
Okay.
like, so you're a Leo. What are you?
I'm a Pisces.
You're a Pisces.
I'm a Pisces.
What about you?
Aries.
Aries. See, I don't know anything about the other signs, so it's like.
See, you smirk. See, the thing is, people are like, you're an Aries. Okay, that tracks.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it tracks.
Yeah, it does track.
Fucking tracks. And I'm a
See?
Scorpio moon too, which makes it even.
That's
scarier.
funny.
And
I'm
I'm a Pisces. I'm an emotional wreck.
I actually watched a comedian one time, and he was like talking about the signs and stuff, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm an Aries, and someone in the audience was like, that makes sense. And he was like, see, you want to know how stupid this is? He's like, I'm not even a fucking Aries. I just said that. He was like, I'm a Pisces, and somebody else was like, oh, then now that makes sense. And he was like, nope,
even a fucking
I lied
Pisces.
again.
It's probably a Gemini.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Probably.
Why are Geminis liars?
Geminis are two-faced.
Anyway,
What are you doing?
I'm
You're
tossing
just
the ones I've
skipping
used.
skipping questions.
You got to get rid of them.
All right.
Yeah, and getting rid of the stinkers.
What's the next question?
This is a good one. This is from Max.
Max.
Why did you decide to make Jesus your personal Lord and Savior? I didn't read this one before I asked it. I'm sorry, but if you want to answer, you totally
Why
can.
did I decide to make Jesus my
That's
Lord
what
and
it
Savior?
said. Your personal Lord and Savior. That's
My
what it
personal
says.
Lord and
What
Savior.
is
Some people have
happening?
Some people have their wires crossed. I
First
feel
of all, his name is Miles, and just because he looks like Jesus doesn't mean that he's Jesus.
like. Well,
I saw.
How do you know?
I saw what happened on Halloween.
He did dress up like Jesus
He
for
did dress up
Halloween.
like Jesus, and I saw way more of Miles than I ever wanted to see that night.
He wore a loincloth, and everybody at that party got to see a lot of
Miles.
things that, usually
You saw
I'm the only
miles
one
of
that-
miles.
Yeah, miles and miles of miles. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Next one. This is not a real name. I'm not even going to say it. It says Mildred. Now, as a DJ, what do you do when all these women throw themselves at you?
What women?
I'm just reading the questions, Justin.
What do I do when women throw themselves at me?
Yes. All these. It's all these
women.
All of them.
I mean,
All the women.
I don't do anything. what do you think? What do you think I do? Like,
Good answer.
Tell them about my husband.
Yeah, that was the correct answer, Justin. Wow, she really set you up for that one.
I'm just being honest. I don't. I don't. I know. I don't. I mean, I don't. It doesn't. That definitely
Depends
doesn't.
on how drunk they are.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't happen very often. But I mean, every once in a while, I'll have somebody that like gives me their phone number or asks for my phone number. And if they give me their phone number, it usually just goes in my pocket and ends up in the trash. Or
With a
if
washing
they ask,
machine.
if they ask for my number, I usually just give them my husband's number.
This is basically the same question from Jasper, is almost the same one. Now, as a self-proclaimed coxman, how do you deal with Groupons? Oh, I'm sorry, I mean groupies, and I swear to God he wrote that out. You're not going to answer? Jasper.
How do I deal
Jasper?
with groupies?
Yes. It first said Groupons, but yes, groupies.
I mean,
And it also says that you're an esteemed coxman.
wow, coxman. What's a
Jasper must know.
coxman?
Better than a cocksmith.
What's a
Better than
coxman?
cocksmith.
What is a coxman?
I don't know. Ask Jasper.
All right, but if
Jasper,
I'm an
comment.
A man of cocks?
I guess a man of cocks, a coxman. How do I handle groupies?
What is happening?
These are such
Someone
weird
fucking
questions.
explain what is happening to me right
Wanna
now.
read one?
Am I high?
What is a dark room? No, we're going to skip.
What is a dark room?
Yeah, and
This is
where
where you
do I
Go to the
develop
Eagle in
photos.
Providence.
Ooh, that's a different type of dark room.
Yeah,
I think that's what they meant. Okay, now
There's
if
a
you
glory hole in the bathroom and it made
if
me
you
laugh.
were a character in Back to the Future,
Yep.
who would you be? Wait, Kels, can we still watch Back to the Future?
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that, right?
no.
Christopher Lloyd didn't shit on Leah Thompson's chest or
Why the
anything
fuck
during
you asking
filming.
me?
I don't know, because you have your finger on the pulse of these canceled things. I just reiterate them.
I mean, anybody that doesn't want to be Marty McFly.
I
in
know,
Back to the
Marty
Future is
McFly.
like weird. That's who
That's
you would
fucking
want to be.
easy. Doc
Perfect.
Brown?
That's the answer
That's
to
a
that, then.
no-brainer. These are some weird questions.
It's what the people want to know.
Okay, all right.
Why are you so convinced the Earth is flat, Justin?
Because it is, obviously.
All right.
Clearly.
If you could be any ball in any sport game, what one would you be, Kels? You're throwing me off here.
I would be Odell Beckham's balls. Wait, you meant like the actual ball?
Oh, come
or,
on. All right, moving on. Sorry, Jennifer. Okay, last one here. What is your favorite gig story? And disasters only, please. That is from Guinevere again.
My favorite gig story, disasters only.
Please, it said.
I mean, I don't really have very many disaster stories. I guess the only
All right,
one,
so
the only
moving
one,
on.
no, the only one that I can think of is I did a wedding one time, and somebody from the club borrowed my microphone and didn't put it back, so I didn't have a microphone.
So wait, they just walked off with it?
No. They borrowed somebody borrowed it. Like one of the DJs borrowed a microphone from me,
Oh, okay.
and they didn't put it back in my bag. So when I went to the gig, I didn't have a microphone, so
You just yelled?
At the reception, I literally just yelled to introduce everybody.
That's a disaster.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
Please
but
welcome Mr.
yeah.
and Mrs.
Yeah, basically that's what it was. It was embarrassing.
Back
But,
here, me.
yeah. And then I mean there was another wedding that I did actually years ago, and I ended up having to do something at Bobby's before that, and like this was when Bobby, like, I mean, he still pretty much has me by the balls, but he really
He's the real
he
cocksman.
really had me by the balls, and I had to do something for the club, so I ended up being like late for the wedding. So I sent somebody else there to like set up and do like the ceremony for me, and they like didn't know what they were doing, but I thought that they were like a really good DJ, and then I found out later that they like completely fucked up the person's ceremony, and it was like pretty fucking embarrassing. Yeah. So, and then I came in and saved the day for the reception, but it was But I mean, those are the only two that I can think of that are like really bad disaster stories.
The one of those was a very good disaster.
Yeah,
Actually,
those
they
are
both were good
interesting.
disasters.
So yeah, so if anybody else has any
those aren't the
questions,
questions.
if anybody else has any questions to ask, feel free. I guess we could start a new segment because that was fun. That was weird and interesting.
Hey, well, you the fans, you got it. You asked for it, you got it. Next
Yeah.
time, leave your voicemails. I read their messages. Now you leave voicemails.
We actually
we'll get to those
so
too.
we actually do have a voicemail that we're going to listen to. We did get somebody that called in and left a voicemail. So because they are not able to watch the show today, and they wanted to chime in on our topic of discussion. So I thought that was really cool. So they left a voicemail, and we'll get to them.
Word.
We'll get to them at some point.
Many.
But yeah, those were some fucking weird questions.
I thought they were good though. It really dove into your personality. I felt. Sometimes the hard-hitting questions are the best to answer. They caught you off guard, didn't they?
I feel like I went on a magical trip through Wonderland when
You think those were hard-hitting
the
questions?
entire
Those are the
fucking
hard-hitting
thing.
questions. Those are,
I thought it was gonna be more serious than that, but
I think you're. How do you feel as an entertainer that you bring joy to the world?
how do I feel I bring joy to the world?
Yes.
And joy to the people.
I mean,
like you and me.
I play good music.
And the fishes in the sea.
You know, and I think I'm an entertaining person. I hope. Otherwise, I've
How many people are watching?
I've been hosting drag shows for the past couple of years for nothing. If that's not the case, but
Not for nothing.
not for nothing.
Not for nothing. And Kels, you all right over there?
I just.
Kels, comment.
This is
Give me 17 examples of what's wrong.
Cal's comment. Oh, so evil. So evil. I can't.
I don't know what's going on here.
Anyway.
Everybody seems
Not
upset.
surprised.
God, I feel like this is like my childhood all over again. Mom, Dad, stop fighting. I was sick of being in the middle.
No, this is.
I'm
more,
literally in the middle.
This is more like the child confused about like what Uncle Andrew is talking about. Like that's.
I can't.
This is, all right. Well,
Is
now that we're
Uncle
taking the show
Andrew-
serious.
Is Uncle Andrew okay? Did he fall
All right.
down and hit
No,
his
honey,
head?
we don't talk about Uncle.
So
Andrew.
so let's get into something a little more serious. We had fun for a little while, but now it's time to get serious because there is a topic of discussion that I do want to focus a lot of attention on today, and that is this whole Tennessee thing. Do you guys know anything about the bills that were passed on Thursday?
I know about one of them, but you informed me that there's another one as well.
Yeah, so apparently there were two. I thought there was only one, and when I started doing research on it, I found out that there were a couple of them. So the first bill was for transgender children to reverse their medical changes or whatever that they're going through. So if they were taking any hormone therapy or anything, they had to stop taking it, and they had to revert back to, the way they're assigned gender, I guess.
So they just have to stop doing everything they've been doing as far as
That's-
hormones and all that, and
That's
just revert.
fucking horrifying to me.
Yeah.
That's horrifying to me.
But I don't know if kids do that stuff. Like I don't know. I haven't heard of
Most
any
of the time,
cases.
from what I understand, most of the time, if they're like going through the beginning puberty, they tend to be put on hormone blockers
Right.
until
Yeah.
they can kind of figure out like where they're going.
Right.
But like,
But that kind of stuff is reversible and easily reversible.
Right.
But what I'm saying
you
is
just
like
stop it and you go through puberty.
they're
Like,
not they're not having sex change operations or anything.
What
like,
qualifies
that's
as a
not-
kid?
That's true.
I would
That's a good
imagine.
question.
I would imagine under 18.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna. Oh, that's fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
That's horrifying
Yeah.
to me. Like, they're not gonna put a 10-year-old on estrogen, but like somebody who's 16, 17 years old, and they're just gonna make them stop taking their meds. Like, politicians are not medical professionals.
So
that's
Is that
Oh,
one of
so
those things where you
scary.
can where you can actually have your parents sign over the fact that if you are, like you just said, like 10 years old, if you have parental permission, is that a thing that you can do? Do we know
No,
that?
like apparently they're gonna make it illegal.
All right, so basically this article that I read says transgender children are not undergoing irreversible medical changes. This is a fundamental misunderstanding about what transition looks like for kids. Therapists, parents, and healthcare providers work together to determine which changes to make at a given time are in the best interest of the child. Some people take medication and some do not. Some adults have surgeries and others do not. How someone transitions is their choice to be made with their family and their doctor. In most young children, this care can be entirely social. This means new name, new hairstyle, new clothing, and none of this care is irreversible. So that's
So are they saying that like girls can't cut their hair short?
yeah, see now this goes into the other bill.
Because Carly was like,
This goes into the other bill. 'Cause
Yeah.
the other bill didn't have to do with trans people specifically. It was more about making it illegal in Tennessee for anybody to perform as a different gender. So you're not allowed to dress up, like men can't dress up as women, women can't dress up as men and perform, or it'll be illegal. Now there's so many, there's such a fine line because what constitutes dressing as a different gender? What, you know what I mean? To me, it's like, yeah, if I put on a wig and makeup and a dress, like obviously I'm trying to be a drag queen. I'm trying to whatever. But like, what if I paint my nails? Does that mean that I'm trying to be a different gender? What
Yeah,
if
'cause
I wear
my
a scarf?
boyfriend
or
paints his nails.
Right. What if I wear a kilt? Like, does that?
When does this
Does that
not turn into
qualify?
acting? Then turn like you
Yeah,
can't,
like how are you
can't
gonna
act
do
anymore?
hairspray without
So these
like the
bills,
mom?
these bills passed in Tennessee.
Yeah.
This is so
Yeah.
fucking bizarre.
Yeah, right. So, so basically, I mean, the way I see it, like, I don't think it's gonna last long. Like, I think that they're gonna be
No, it
vetoed.
definitely won't last.
I feel like they're gonna realize that they're
It's
fighting
it's outrageous.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's
yeah.
like I can understand like being like, oh, okay, like kids under the age of 18 can't have any medical like procedures,
Yeah.
Right.
like surgery
Right.
until they're 18. Like that, cool. Like that's wait till you're adult.
But
That's
see,
cool.
from what I've read, the only people that are having those medical procedures or doing those
adults.
gender assigning surgeries, no, I'm saying in kids, are ones that are born with hermaphroditism,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
like ones that are born with these, medical conditions that warrant, honestly, that,
Right.
that
Yeah.
necessary immediate change.
Right.
But as far as kids are concerned, it's really just like the hormone blockers and stuff for
Right.
when they're going through puberty. And so in Tennessee, they're not allowed to do that anymore. It's as of right now, it's can't be a thing.
That's fucking horrifying
So.
to me. That's it. Like, I don't care. I honestly like whatever makes somebody happy as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And like, politicians are not medical professionals. I don't know if you've ever watched. Do you watch Jon Stewart?
No.
Yeah. So The Problem with Jon Stewart is a really great show. It's called The Problem with Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
There's one episode that he talks about the problem with trans rights.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. He goes at, I think it might have been the Tennessee bitch. Was it her? I can't remember. I can't remember
I don't
what
think I saw
politician.
this
He
one.
sat down with this politician and was like, "Who are you to say what these kids need when medical professionals are saying that these kids need this?" Like, the American Psychiatric Association and the American Children's Association, like, the Doctors for Children and blah blah blah. And he's like, "We have all of these certified doctors associations. Who do you have?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to look at our paperwork for that." You can't name one, lady.
Right.
Like, it's, for me, it's like, you are not a medical professional. Sit your ass down.
All right, so Senate Bill 3 and its companion House Bill 9 would ban adult cabaret performances, including male or female impersonators, from taking place in public or in any location where the performance could be viewed by a minor. A first violation of the law would be a Class A misdemeanor, which carries a sentence of up to 11 months and 29 days in prison, and or a fine of up to $2,500. Subsequent violations would be classified as a Class E felony, punishable by up to 6 years in prison
Jesus.
and a fine of up to $3,000.
Okay, so just for reading a book in a library?
Yes.
Well, it says. What do you mean? No, it says.
No, I'm saying like drag queen story time.
Oh, yeah. Well, anything that's male or female impersonating. Yeah. So that would include drag queen story time. That would include any performances, or like, I mean, even if you think about like theater, like Hairspray, for example.
That's what I said,
right?
Hairspray. How are you going to
Yeah.
perform Hairspray because mom is supposed to be a drag queen?
Right. Well, not going to happen in Tennessee.
Apparently fucking not.
Not going to happen in Tennessee. So then it makes me wonder, like, are they going to ban, old movies that have drag in them, like
Mrs.
Doubtfire?
Doubtfire, right.
Yeah,
Are we
or,
not allowed to watch Bugs Bunny anymore?
Right, or
No.
Tu Wong Fu.
Tu Wong Fu,
or
That's a good one.
yeah, there's so many of them out there. You can't watch old
Tootsie.
episodes of Martin, or like,
Right.
there's
What about Medea? Can't watch Medea
no
at all?
Medea.
Didn't
yeah.
Urkel do one too? Wasn't he? There was a female cousin that Urkel did.
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
Family Matters.
An
I
episode
think
of
so.
Family
Remember that.
Matters.
Yeah, so that's basically that's what the bill is, and the fear is that now that Tennessee has passed it, and they passed it with like ridiculous numbers,
flying
too.
colors.
Like ridiculous numbers. It was like 29-9 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was something crazy. But I mean, obviously Tennessee is a red state, so it's
It's still just.
yeah, it's
Ew.
insane. It's insane.
It's ew.
So-
That's what's happening now.
But I mean, there's
Who does it? So, okay. I need someone to explain to me who is it hurting? Because they're like, oh, the kids. And I'm
this
like,
is the
fucking
big
how?
this is the big stigma. So the stigma is things like drag queen story time are grooming children, and they are trying to push and push children into a category of sexualization, and they're trying to make it sound like it's more than what it is. And my problem is that I've done a lot of research on the whole topic of drag story time and sexualization and grooming and all that stuff, and like I think, and I actually promised myself I wouldn't give my opinion on this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
It's tough
I
shit.
think that I can see interesting and valid points on both sides as to why people think the way they think. I'm not agreeing with one side or the other. I'm not telling you that, I think it's this or I think it's that. But I am saying that, I've watched some videos and seen some things where, like, some people just don't get it. Like, they don't. They have their views, they have their opinions, and they're so set on it that they're not willing to listen to the justification or whatever of the other
example.
side.
Remember I showed you that picture, Patrick?
Mm-hmm.
He lost 1,000 followers just from that photo.
No.
And people called him a groomer.
Stop it.
This would be Patrick. This would be my partner, Patrick. One
Wow.
of the beaniest of beans out there.
What?
And a dude called him out and called him. He was like, you're a fucking groomer and shit like that. And he's like, you're disgusting. And I was like, wow, how's that internalized homophobia going for you, buddy?
But the problem though is I mean, like, certain situations. So like there are people out there that do like family friendly, they call it family friendly drag shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are plenty of people out there that do actually in fact do family friendly drag shows. And when you say family friendly, that means, no ridiculous outfits, no
Right.
sexual behavior, no this, no that.
I wore a Hawaiian shirt, jeans, and a lion face.
But that doesn't mean that they are all like that. That doesn't mean
Oh
that
yeah,
No,
and I
not at all.
absolutely believe that there are people who are doing a shitty fucking job at family friendly.
All right,
that
so
are
ready?
being
So ready?
gross.
So I did pull up a couple clips, and I do want to show you guys these things. So first of all, we'll do this one. All right. Well, the sound on that sucks, but
Sound on that blows.
yeah. But the song was about her pussy popping.
Yeah, see,
The
that's
whole
not
thing.
appropriate.
And that was
Doesn't seem
that
right.
was at a drag brunch, and there were kids,
Yeah,
and you
that's
could
not-
see the kids in the video.
That's not
And she's like, the way that she's dancing and stuff, and And this is the other one, so I'll play this clip for you.
Now, we've seen drag queen story time rolled out, not just in the US, but right here in Australia. But the latest thing is what they're calling family-friendly drag shows. Yes, parents enthusiastically taking their kids along to watch performances that are often suggestive, sexually explicit, and frankly, the sort of content no child should be exposed to.
You are such an awesome mom for bringing your kid out to a family-friendly drag show, ladies and gentlemen. Are you confused yet? Minty fresh.
Absolutely nothing of that was family friendly.
None of
So
it.
how are you going to say that that's family
That
friendly?
is not
drag?
family friendly at
Right.
all. That's
So now how are you gonna try to sit there and tell me that these people that are outraged aren't in the right for being outraged at that?
See, the thing is, and I think it's probably my brain being on the side of a performer where I go, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like that
Where
is
you
not-
say I would never perform like that, right?
Yeah,
I would
no.
never do that at a family
I
friendly
would
show.
never do if
Right.
I'm told family friendly, it's family fucking friendly. I
Right.
would never do shit like that, nor would the queens that I work with.
Right.
Queens and kings that I work with would
Right.
never do that.
Right.
So who in their little troop said that was okay and they need to be held accountable?
It's very common. And
Yeah, they're not the only ones.
It's all over the place. It's all over the place, you know. And it's not just you know, this one group that's doing, like, it's everywhere. And you know, there are people that are new to the game, new to drag, new to performing, and they just want the exposure. They just want to get out there. They don't have the experience to know or understand the difference between regular drag and family friendly drag and like something that happens at a nightclub as opposed to something that happens at a drag brunch. They just want the exposure. And I mean, I know that I've hired performers before, you know, at family friendly events that I have had to pull aside before they go on stage and say, I can't let you perform. Like, look at what you're wearing.
Right.
You need to go take a look in the mirror and figure out why this is wrong. But I can't allow you to go on that stage.
Right.
Period. I can't do it. But there are also drag performers that are against drag story time, that are against family friendly shows because they believe that drag is not for kids. So there's a drag performer by the name of Kitty Demure. Have you heard of her before?
Yeah, and
she's extremely conservative, and she's completely
she's
against
literally the
thought.
only drag queen I've ever seen on Fox News.
Oh yeah, she was on. Yep, she was on Fox News. Yep.
Homegirl needs to get her shit together.
So I actually have a clip.
You're not a fan.
I actually have a clip of Kitty Demure, so I'm gonna play the clip and then we'll talk about it.
Hi everybody, this is Kitty Demure, your friendly favorite conservative drag queen. Anyway, I have another message for heterosexual women, the ones who have children. I have no idea why you want drag queens to read books to your children. I have no idea. What in the hell has a drag queen ever done to make you have so much respect for them and admire them so much? Other than put on makeup and jump on the floor and writhe around and do sexual things on stage. I have absolutely no idea why you would want that to influence your child. Would you want a stripper or a porn star to influence your child? It makes no sense at all. A drag queen performs in a nightclub for adults. There is a lot of filth that goes on, a lot of sexual stuff that goes on. And backstage, there's a lot of nudity, sex, and drugs. Okay? So I don't think that this is an avenue you would want your child to explore. They could explore dressing up at home like we all did, like all gay boys did. We all dressed at home and we had a great time. We had a great time with our girlfriends, putting on makeup, trying on clothes, things like that. But to actually get them involved in drag is extremely, extremely irresponsible on your part. And I understand you might want to look like you're with it, that you're cool, that you're woke, that you're not a Nazi, that you're not a homophobe, whatever it may be. But you can raise your child to be just a normal, regular, everyday child without including them in gay, sexual things. And honestly, you're not doing the gay community any favors. In fact, you're hurting us, okay? We have already had a reputation of being pedophiles and being perverts and deviants. We don't need you to bring your children around. So you keep your
have to
kids
let
at
this bitch
home,
keep talking.
or take them to Disneyland, or take them to Chuck E. Cheese. But if you need your child to be entertained by a big human in a costume or in makeup, take them to the circus or something. When they turn 18, then why don't you take them to the clubs on their 18th birthday? Because it's an adult thing, okay? So don't ruin your child's life, and don't ruin us, because that's what you're doing.
So I feel like Kitty Demures is very old-fashioned, and I think that their beliefs are very old-fashioned because I know we've talked about this on the show before. Drag has evolved so much, and it's become something completely different. And I know for a fact that I have friends, you included, that are in the drag community and that would never expose a child to that kind of a situation. And when they do things like drag story time or whatever, they're not trying to teach kids about drag queens. They're trying to teach kids about being who you are and being comfortable in your own skin. And it's not about sexualization and turning children. It's about being yourself, you know? So
Sorry, I'm trying to calm the fuck down. I had to take my headphones off. If I had to listen to that bitch talk for one
That's
more
fair.
fucking second, I was gonna throw something.
That's fair.
Who the fuck does she think she is that she can tell people what to do with their own fucking children? Take your fucking misglued eyelash and fucking shove that shit up your nose.
Was it
with
misglued?
your-
I
It
didn't
was.
see
It was fucking like flapping in the wind, and I was like, you can take your fucking fluttery eyelash, and you can take your shitty fucking druggy 1970s drag queen persona and go fuck yourself. I'm sorry.
That's what I was
Everything
saying.
she said wasn't wrong, though.
There was one thing that I kind of like. I was starting to go, okay, I can kind of see, and then she fucking lost me on the rest of it. I was like, never mind, fuck you and your fucking point. Like, take a walk. So the only thing that like I can kind of get on board with is like, okay, you're letting your kids know drag queens are a thing. Well, the second they open fucking TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or something like that, and they type in drag queen, they're gonna find some interesting shit.
Yep.
But here's the thing: as a parent, you're exposing them to that, so therefore it's your job to make sure they don't get any deeper until you let them.
It's a PG show. It's parental guidance.
Exactly.
Right.
So like,
So now we're gonna dive into that word, that word, grooming. That's this is the main topic of our episode, is the whole grooming thing, and the belief is, and this is why the Tennessee thing is a thing. They believe that it's grooming children. They believe that this whole, in the LGBT community, are grooming children.
So, look up the definition of grooming.
I'm going to look it up right now.
I do.
All right.
Just so happens we have a device for that.
Good. We have very.
We got some good technology. on this
Grooming,
show.
noun, the practice of brushing and cleaning
not
the coat
about
of a horse, dog, or other animal.
That's not the one we want.
You filthy, filthy people.
Grooming, the practice of preparing or training someone for a particular purpose or activity. Alan was expected to need a lot of grooming before he was ready to take over.
So that's what it is. It's preparing somebody for a certain activity.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing is the other side, the brick wall of people saying that, like, you're a groomer. Of what? Like, what am I grooming these kids to do? Become drag queens? Be gay? Have sex in public? Like, you need to be more specific about what are we grooming these kids to do?
Right.
And they use the word groomer to like, now it's conflated with pedophile, like, instantly. You're like, you're a groomer and therefore you diddle kids. And it's like, no, first off, do you know how many straight white men are caught diddling kids? I haven't heard anything about a drag queen doing it.
No.
Like, that's because they're not fucking pedophiles.
Right.
But like, the whole thing about we're grooming kids, we have been showing kids since they were 3, 4, 5 years old Disney princesses kissing princes. And you know, falling in love and all that shit. And like the second there's a non-heteronormative romantic relationship, even if it's not sexual, the second that is, it's grooming kids.
Right.
I think grooming now is the same thing as gaslight to me. It's like people are just using it as a blanket statement. Just, you're grooming, you're grooming.
Or like the word Karen. Everybody's a Karen now.
Everyone's
You call someone a Karen.
But everyone is a Karen, though,
Everyone
so that's
kind of is a
different.
Karen.
So what if I have kids, right, and I bring my kids to church every Sunday? Am I grooming my child to be religious?
If we're using it by their definition, yes.
Yeah, but what's the...
So what
you
if-
got to see the difference between grooming them to be religious or grooming them in some of these cases where it's just tits out. And,
So what if I have kids and I decide that I want to take them to the baseball game every weekend? I want to take them to the baseball game, and then they decide that they want to play baseball, and they decide they want to become a baseball player. Did I groom them into being
Yeah,
yes,
if you're
baseball
using
player?
the same definition,
yes, absolutely.
So that's all grooming, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
all-
I think that's actually used as a term in that exact situation. Yeah, I've been grooming him to be the best baseball player that's ever lived.
It's sort of like the word literally,
Mm-hmm.
where literally used to mean
literally.
literally,
Right.
like this exact thing happened, but you
Right.
could be like, oh, I literally died. Now the Oxford English Dictionary uses it as hyperbole as well. It's
Right.
in the dictionary. It's been adapted because English language is so versatile and it evolves constantly. So now the word grooming, the actual definition is like where you prepare somebody to become or to do a thing for a certain task, has just now become a negative term, like the word Karen.
Yep.
You know, it's exactly the same thing.
Deserved.
Yep.
So,
But I mean, there is a kid out there.
God forbid you actually groom pets. I feel
So
bad for you.
there's a kid out there. Have you ever heard of Desmond is Amazing?
Yes.
So Desmond, they're like 15 now, probably. But Desmond is the first child to be put in the spotlight as
YouTube,
a
right?
drag performer.
Oh, as a what?
As a drag kid. So here, I got a clip of Desmond.
And the name says it all. Desmond is amazing.
The fabulous drag kid, Desmond is amazing.
Desmond is amazing!
I'm ready. I'm Desmond Naturalist, also known as Desmond is Amazing. I'm 12 years old, and I'm amazing, so are you. A drag kid is a kid who dresses in drag. I felt like the term drag queen is too adulty, so I wanted to change it to a different name, and we came up with drag kid. It's not bad. It's not like child abuse. Drag kids are just kids who are being themselves. The first time I started professionally doing drag was when I was in the Bacon Shake video for James Monsoon, and it was fun. I learned what was drag when I watched the first episode of RuPaul's Drag Race when I was 2 years old.
Lily, what do you have on?
I loved the queen so much that I wanted to do it for myself, so I would take my mom's cardboard, paper, bubble wrap, my mom's old shoes. It looked fun, it looked creative, it looked awesome.
I thought it was going to be a phase, honestly, but he still does it. He still dresses up, and he still steals my shoes.
Anyway, I'll post the link in the
Yeah, as
in
I was
the
like,
comment
hey,
section.
be careful because
Yeah.
this is going long and we can get hit by a
Yeah.
copyright strike and we don't want that.
But yeah, that's so.
So what's the difference between that and beauty pageants?
Yeah. Good question.
Wouldn't that be considered grooming? If you're
What's the difference between
Yes.
that and
Raising your
beauty
kids
pageants?
to be in beauty pageants, it'd be
And
the
a
same
lot
thing,
of the
right?
times those are very sexualizing of children.
And if you notice too, in that video, Desmond made it a point to say, that there's nothing like lewd and sexualized
It's
about
not
it.
child abuse, he said,
It's
yeah.
not child abuse. It's what they decided to do. It's what they want, and they're lucky enough to have two very supportive parents.
Yeah.
Who encourage them to be whatever they want to be and dress how they want to dress. And so it's like, this is one of those things where I can see both sides where, I can see how, and based on the videos that I showed you earlier, I can see how people would be concerned. But then you look at things like that, it's so innocent, and you know, and you hear the phrase "let kids be kids." That's what that kid wants to do.
That's legitimately letting kids be kids.
That's letting kids be kids.
I think I think the issue is that they don't see the hypocrisy when, again, like with beauty pageants, like you are dolling up your 4-year-olds in like hyper femininity. They look like drag queens. Like, you know, you are dolling them up, and they're like, well, that's not the same. How the fuck isn't it? You're sexualizing your 4-year-old. But then you bitch and moan about some boy who wants to wear dresses and be pretty, like. And it's the same thing with church, or I think there's like, you know, pictures of little boys at Hooters and
speaking of Hooters, I was actually going to say, you know, Hooters has a kids menu.
Yeah.
So like, how are you going to take your kid to Hooters?
So it's
which literally the uniform for Hooters is like booty shorts and like a t-shirt with
a tank top
with the middle cut off so you can see their boobs. And
granted,
stuff,
they
you know
can no longer use looks anymore.
What do you mean?
Like they're no longer allowed to use looks to hire.
Oh, really?
Women. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They have to be an equal opportunity employer.
Yep.
Could I work at Hooters?
Yep.
I could be a.
You could be a Hooters boy.
You sure could.
Do I have to wear booty shorts?
You sure do.
I would love to see that.
I do have to wear booty shorts.
You sure do.
Yep.
Wow.
I'd love to, and apparently they're tighter.
My point is like, to me, it's just like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like, what is the difference?
It's that's what we see.
It's an attack on the LGBT community. Is what it is.
Well,
I said something earlier. How is it any different? Like they said, you would want your kids being taught by strippers and porn stars, but can you imagine if there was like if Chippendales did a kids brunch? Isn't that not too far off from the same thing?
Yeah, but no, they're professional naked dancers. Like that's what they do.
Right.
What the fuck else do they do?
Well, that's about it.
Okay, so they wouldn't do a fucking kids brunch.
And
but if they did,
I'm going to be honest with you. I actually know that there are people out there that are teachers or that are educators or people that work with kids
who have like OnlyFans
that have OnlyFans or work at strip clubs or work at adult, you know, places. And they separate the two, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's very easy to do that. But it all goes back to, I feel like we keep circling around the same topic of conversation, and that's, you know, you can't lump everybody into one category. You know, not everybody that is in the community is bad. Not everybody that's in the community is good.
Right.
You know, but I mean, it exists in all walks of life.
Demonstrated by that family-friendly show.
Right. It exists in all walks of life. And I mean, like, that's the same thing as, and we've talked about this before too, like the whole all cops are bastards thing. Like, not all cops are bad. You know, there are some good ones out there, but, you know, it depends on where you are and who you're talking about. You know, there's bad eggs in every basket.
So, like, when you're using ACAB as a situation, the systematic failure of the police department across the country has made it to the point where everybody's like,
and that's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? Like,
but there is no systematic grooming or pedophilia issue within the drag community.
Right. Or reasons for that stigma to exist.
The only reason the stigma exists is because people are fucking homophobes and bigots.
Yeah.
That's why it exists. It has nothing to do with, it's not reactionary.
Right.
You know, it's them taking the offensive and being like, nope, you're gonna fuck kids, and it's like, we've been around forever.
But
ever.
I mean, my
Can't
thing is,
perform original Shakespeare now in Tennessee either.
I'm always very genuinely curious of how people think and why people have the opinions they have. So I'm always going to be open to dialogue on both sides of the conversation. You know, I'm willing to listen to both sides of the conversation because I feel like, you know, that's one of the most important things when it comes to topics of discussion like this. Like, you have to have dialogue. You have to sit there and have conversations and allow people to explain themselves so that you can kind of understand where they're coming from or why they feel the way they feel. And a lot of the times you'll find that these people have valid reasons why in their mind they're right on both sides. And I'm not saying that they're right. I'm saying they have valid reasons why they believe they're right, you know?
I'm not trying to invalidate anybody's feelings, but I'm not talking about feelings. I'm talking about logic.
Right.
Like, my feelings have nothing to do with, like, yeah, I get frustrated with the illogical behavior. That's what frustrates me. You can be the biggest fucking homophobe in the world. That won't bother me as long as you keep it to your fucking self, because it doesn't make any goddamn sense you bringing it up right now.
Right.
Like,
see now. All right. So the logic there gets skewed to me because I'll just play the video clip where I
want to throw my headphones
I
again?
have so many. No. It's fine. I have so many different things lined up. So there was a protest at a drag brunch, and the person that was behind the person with the microphone that was like, we want to interview both sides, we want to see both sides or whatever, and I'll just let you watch it and we'll talk about it after.
I went over there to talk to somebody I knew, right? You put your hands on me! Quit spitting! And all of a sudden, I get like 7 or 8 of them come up to me. 7 or 8 of them come up to me. Get off here! Get out! Get off this property!
Every day we should wake up and say, how can we make our country better?
But my whole thought process is, let me have freedom of my speech too. If somebody wants to change my ways, I'll listen to anybody. But you know what? Show me the respect to listen to my opinion.
This is, okay, you know what? I don't have a problem with it, but all this is right here, they're just trying to get a TikTok view.
Because I've been praying to a God of miracles, and it takes a miracle to change a heart.
Your people are crazy. Y'all want to kill us all. So, no, you do. You do.
All I can do is pray.
What did you come out to do?
To talk to people. I hope you... All right. Yeah.
Get the out of here before we you up. Do it.
That guy in the gray shirt over there, I've been praying for him most of the day. He's under quite a conviction right now. And it may not happen today, but his heart will be changed. And because I've been praying to a God of miracles, and it takes a miracle to change a heart, I can't do it. All I can do is pray.
And he said if you were willing to have a face-to-face conversation, he would do the same thing.
Sure I would.
Would that be something you would be willing to do?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Okay.
I know how those people feel about me, and they put a bullet in my head.
I promise you I will not.
Well, you're strong and you're strong.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, let's see how this goes.
There's no G-strings or anything like that. There's no child abuse going on at all inside.
In your heart, you can tell me that children need to be taught this. In your
In my heart, I can tell you that there's an openness to this, yes.
Do you believe that children should be hit with this in classrooms? Should it be taught, transvestite?
I don't believe children are taught that in classrooms.
I teach middle school, so like it's important for my kids to know.
Not great so far.
I'm going to pray for this guy's heart.
Hey, you don't have to pray for me.
It'll change. I promise you. It may be in a dream tonight.
We're going to not agree on that ever.
Well,
women in leadership.
And I'm going to continue to pray for
I'm sure you believe that Nancy Pelosi also doesn't belong in a leadership position.
I said I didn't want to throw my shit.
Good to see you. I don't know what's going to happen here, so I just don't want anybody to be. Okay. Hey, thank you again very much.
This has nothing to do with why I'm here.
Well, why are you here then?
I'm praying for you.
Why? I don't need prayer, sir. I am good. My relationship with God is completely on my own. I hate the fact that you probably have cheated on your wife multiple times. I hate that. I hate that for you. I hate that for you. I hate the fact that your wife has probably cheated on you multiple times. You know what? You've been, married 60 years probably? I'm sure there's been some infidelity there. You are not perfect in your marriage.
What was your first name?
Kevin. Pray for me all you want. The book of James is my favorite book. God, Jesus, the holy man, everything. I have a relationship with him. Your people are crazy. Y'all want to kill us all. So, no, you do. You do. Yeah, you do. You do. You want us dead. You want us dead.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yes, it did. That devolved quickly.
I love the book of James. I love Jesus and the Holy Man.
The Holy Man and the Holy Man.
The Father, Son, and the Holy Man.
So now, what I saw in that video, right, was people on the right side who, and I say right as in like right wing, not like the correct side, who,
conservatives
are, who are against drag brunches, drag story time, whatever. And they're willing to have open discussions. They're saying that they want to have conversations and stuff, and they want to talk about it.
And then you go
talk to them. And then you look at the other side, but you look at the other side, right? And they're like super aggressive and super loud. And so when I watched this clip originally, I was watching it with, my gay friend. And I looked at him and I was like, this is crazy that like, it makes the people on the left look so bad when they're so aggressive, when they're so loud, when they're so this, they're so that. And his response to me was like, "Well, we're fed up.
Yeah, we're done.
We're fed up. We're sick and tired of being pushed around and all this. And we're at a breaking point, and that's why we react the way we do. But like, explain to me why that guy had to be like, I can guarantee you cheated on your wife.
Okay,
you
so
did.
I can-
You did, and then went on to
Let
say,
me explain to you what just happened.
You guys want to kill me. You want to put a bullet in my head. You do. You do.
I
And
will
they didn't say
explain to
that
you-
once.
No, they didn't. I will explain to you what happened. So, homeboy Kevin, that was this dude's name.
Yeah.
Kevin came over and he was like, "Yep, we'll talk." And they started talking.
Yep.
And Jesus Grandpa
Yep.
was a brick wall.
Yep.
He didn't want to have an open dialogue. He just sat there with his feelings.
It was like, I'll
and,
pray for you.
I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for you. He didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
And so Kevin kept getting more frustrated and more frustrated and more frustrated to the point where he blew up. And yes, he definitely devolved into a complete ridiculousness. Holy
Right,
man.
right, right.
It didn't. It ended badly.
Yeah.
But you know, Jesus Grandpa was not hearing it. He didn't want to have a dialogue.
All the old man did was politely say, I'm just going to keep praying for you. And then this guy takes it to, yeah, well, your wife cheats on you. And so did you.
Well,
for
that's-
60 years, good for you.
But
Fuck
that's
off.
at the end of the conversation.
Yeah,
So
but
it was-
how
it was-
frustrated do you have to get in an 80-year-old man who's just trying to pray for you?
But like Justin's friend said, we're fucking fed up.
Yeah.
We're done. Like we're just done.
And this is why I say that I can see both sides, because I can see that they're trying to have a friendly dialogue, and then I can see that, you know, people in the community are fed up.
But you gotta fucking talk
They're
to
sick
us.
of hearing it. Like, you know, if I was hanging out with people and someone called me a diddler or a pedo or a groomer, or yeah, I'd get pissed off. Yeah, I'd react for sure. You know. And so it's a crazy situation. It's a crazy world that we live in.
I have never experienced homophobia in my entire life until I started doing drag.
Mm-hmm.
I have never been called a faggot in my entire life until I started doing drag. And it was only in day drag. So it was only when I was out in the daytime and never at a nightclub, never walking down the street, heading to a nightclub, none of that. It only happens when I do like pride events and shit.
I used to hate that word fag or faggot growing
A
up.
fag to me is a cigarette.
And I can think of numerous times growing up that like people would use that word towards me or you know, call me one of those things. And
I know. Did you see? I got uncomfortable. I was like, "Ooh, I don't really like saying that word."
And you know, it used to really bother me. Like I can think of countless times that I would cry over it and, you know, be so upset. But now, at this point in my life, somebody says it and I just laugh. Like
it's so antiquated.
Oh
now.
no, I'm married to a man. Oh no, you're not wrong. Like, oh, so for me, it's like whatever. Like you can say whatever the fuck you want. I don't fucking care. It doesn't make a difference to me.
The weight is different.
But you know, well,
It's also 'cause
the
you're
reason why I
secure in
say
yourself.
it, the reason why I say it, and this is the point that I'm trying to make, is I'm secure with myself now. I'm secure with my sexuality, my lifestyle choice, my this, my that. And kids, there are kids out there that are not, you know, and they need that guidance. They need that help. They need somebody to tell you that it's okay to be who you want to be. And you know, no, you don't need to bring your kid to drag story time. You might be against drag story time, but there are parents out there that have kids, and those kids, they can tell, because my parents obviously knew it at an early age when my favorite movie growing up was Cinderella.
I
They
played
can
with G.I.
tell,
Joes.
you know,
Polly
the
Pockets.
direction
Cinderella, Polly
that
Pocket,
their kids are going in, and they don't know the first thing about that stuff. So they need things like drag story time so that they can have somebody that can educate their kids in a way that they cannot. And that's
I also think people need to disillusion some of these parents who think that their kids aren't going to fucking find that shit on their own. Like, they're going to find it on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all that other shit.
And you want
Like,
to talk about grooming? Hello, have you been on TikTok?
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Onision?
Oh, God. It's so bad.
Fucking
It's
onion
so
boy.
bad. Sometimes I have to shut my phone off and whip it across the
Greg.
room because I'm going through TikTok and some of the things I see on there, I'm like,
You know it's an
where is this-
algorithm though, right?
What?
It's an algorithm, so it depends on what you've liked.
Yeah, but if I'm liking like a dance trend or something, right? And all of a sudden there's like a kid doing the dance trend, like that's
And like a thong.
Yeah, right. You know what I
You're
mean?
like,
It's
the
like, what the
fuck?
fuck is that? You know, it's not. I'm not getting like all kids on my TikTok. Kels, don't.
Come on.
Shit.
Justin,
now you're
pull out
making
your
me-
phone.
Justin,
pull out me
define
uncomfortable.
groomer.
Right. Shit.
Let us see your
We're all
search
going to
history.
hell.
God.
Oh God.
No, it is what it is.
But like, yeah, it's definitely like I'm going back to the Tennessee, transition ban. Like, and not being able to perform drag in public. The drag in public thing, I'm not too butthurt about. Fine, you don't want drag queen story hour, and you don't want you don't want performances of pride. Like, you're still gonna have fucking pride. You're not gonna be able to stop a bunch of gays getting together with flags. Sorry, not gonna happen. But like that, I mean, yeah, okay, keep drag in the clubs. I mean, I would prefer that people be able to do family friendly drag, but I get it. I can see that side of it. It's the transition ban that fucking freaks me the hell out.
Right.
Because that's right up there with Roe v. Wade for me.
Right.
It's like y'all are politicians, you're not doctors.
Yep.
Stay the fuck out of my body.
Yep.
You have no idea what's going on inside my head and my body. Stay the fuck away from it.
But I mean, even no. So even with the other bill, you know, so now you're not going to be able to watch Mrs. Doubtfire. You're not going to be able to watch
right.
Medea.
And like, how far does it go? Like, how slippery is that slope?
It's very vague. The bill itself is very vague. Like, you're gonna have to like look it up. I didn't bring the actual bill, but I mean, the wording on it is so vague that it's like,
it's gonna go to court anyway.
If we allow things like this to happen, this is literally just going to be the beginning, and it's going to happen in other places. It's going to become worse. It's going to become, a bigger thing, and I mean, to me, it's a step back. That's what I mean,
oh yeah,
for the
it's
community.
A huge step back.
A step back. So
it's there. I don't know why the focus is on us right now. Like, I don't get it. We were being left alone for so many years. Now all of a sudden it's all about
Andrew, you've been pretty. You've
been so quiet.
You've been pretty quiet
I'm kind of
about
letting
all
you guys
this.
talk. This is more of your subject than it is mine. You guys are more versed in it.
All right,
than
so
I
then
am.
let's talk about grooming in the church then.
Well, that runs rampant. We all know that.
Yeah.
I was involved.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up Christian my entire life, and I was in a lot of. I was involved in many evangelical, very, very right wing cult. I'm gonna say the C word. Definitely cult. That's what I grew up in. Not fun, but there is a lot of I know youth groups. It was the worst because you'd have like these 22-year-old American, what is it, air apostle looking guys teaching all these young kids, and I knew at least of 3 11 to 12-year-old girls who got involved with these much older people that were in a position of power over them. But it starts out with, we're learning about the Bible. I'm your mentor. I'm teaching you these things, and I'm telling you what's right and wrong. So then they get into this whole thing of where, what this person says, he's speaking from God's point of view. He's giving me the scripture and saying this is right, this is wrong. So then when they start to slowly introduce sexual things, it almost seems like it's like people know it's wrong, but you don't, because it's being put at you from someone that you know and trust.
Do you know what I think is really interesting about everything that you just said is the fact that you, and this is based on your experience.
Yeah.
You said these Apostle or these American Eagle men are grooming these females, these girls.
Yeah.
So
boys too.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, a lot of times in like religion, when we're talking about religion or whatever, we're talking about like these pedophiles and these like priests.
Priests diddling boys.
Right, but your immediate first thing was talking about these
100%
guys that are grooming these young girls.
Yeah, these Chris Angel looking rock stars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's crazy.
The ghost,
man.
the ghost of the podcast is talking again.
But it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's not just in the drag community. It's in everything. Look at Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God,
casting
Hollywood.
coaches. It's all the same thing, really. Everybody's grooming. Everybody's grooming it somewhere, even if it's not for nefarious reasons.
Poor Corey Feldman looks so crazy. I mean, he is.
James
Oh,
Marsters.
let's not throw him in.
James Marsters just did an interview about Joss Whedon and Michelle Trachtenberg and that whole situation on the set of Buffy.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because, that came out 2 years ago?
I don't know.
Michelle Trachtenberg explained how Joss, it was in her contract. After the first year of Buffy, she was like, he cannot be alone with me in a room.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, and everybody chimed in on it. Charisma Carpenter, Nikki Brendan, James Marsters, they were all like, yeah, no, it wasn't good. Like, it wasn't a healthy, he treated the women very, which is fucking strange for a female-led show. But, like,
right.
Oh, yeah, Joss Whedon is definitely a fucking
wow
creepy dude.
Well, I mean, all right. So at this point, I do want to open it up to the viewers, people watching and stuff.
Oh, they have been
to
talking.
chime
I
in.
just wasn't able to say things.
I mean, there's a lot of it's a very hot button issue, and I feel like there's a lot that should be said or needs to be said. And I'm certainly going to take some time after the episode to read through all of the comments and go through everything and try to respond to the things that I can. Or again, I like to get everybody's opinions and views on these kinds of things because it's super important. But
can I just pick out one thing that I kept reading? It's from Carly.
What's that?
Carly keeps saying that she's noticed she doesn't think that any of the videos actually have children in them. She thinks it's all edited. And then she said, "Show me the proof that there's children in there." I thought that a few of the videos that we watched there, you could clearly see the children.
I didn't put all the clips up on here that we watched earlier.
Are you Alex Jonesing those videos?
There was one video where the last video that we watched at a different point in that, because I just clipped it. They count, and there's 8 kids in the room. They
that was
freeze
the one
frame
that was
it.
in that diner, right?
Yeah, they freeze frame it.
I saw the kids right up front.
And they circle all the kids, and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep.
And there were 8 kids that were in that vicinity. So yes, they're very much are children around in those environments, and the people that were there that put on the event, said that it was family friendly and there was nothing lewd or inappropriate going on. And then that person in pink was like in a spandexy thing, got on a table that a child was sitting at, and was like writhing her body, just like I hate to bring it up, just like Kitty Demure said, writhing her body on the table with the kid sitting right there. So it's
that's inappropriate,
right? And
I can get on board with that. That's some bullshit. Don't do that,
Right. So it's like,
And maybe it's some of the burden is on the community to turn around and go, stop fucking doing that. This is why the psychos are telling us that we're groomers.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because again, I know and work with many people in the drag community that are advocates, that love to do things like drag story time, and they are extremely appropriate and they're fantastic at what they do. One of the drag story times that I went to, I think it was like the weekend of like Martin Luther King Jr. Day. They read a book about Martin Luther King Jr. Like that's, it wasn't just about, they don't just read stories about like,
mittens.
Yeah. Or they don't read stories, period.
Mittens.
There's no stories, period, about sexualization or sexual orientation in that it's, inappropriate. It doesn't happen. But I think it's the responsibility of the people that host those events to make sure that the performers are
like you say, not letting people on
appropriate
stage.
and they're Corey checked and they're
Corey checks are fucking
they're
important.
They're right for that part. So all right, so phone lines are open 508-802-4356. If anybody wants to call in, now's the time to do that because we're gonna open it up to you guys, the viewers. If there's anything that we missed or any questions that you have or anything that you want us to talk about, now's the time to do that and chime in.
Do you want to listen to that voicemail?
Oh yeah, we do have a voicemail that somebody left, I believe, earlier today because they knew what we were gonna be talking about. So why don't you play that? It's the one that's 30 seconds, not the 21-second one.
It's the one that's 30 seconds, not the 21 seconds.
Yes, that's the one he said.
I know.
Okay.
It's the second time they called because the first time they called it got cut off.
This one.
No, not the one. The one that can't be transcribed is the one. Yeah, that one.
That one.
That's the one you want to play. Yeah.
Okay.
Play that one.
We'll play this one.
Hey, Just in Time podcast. Cat Savage here.
Oh, it's my sis.
I wanted to call in back when Monica Moore was on your show talking about the Drag Queen Story Hour dilemma. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get through. So knowing your upcoming topic about the legislature attacking the queer community, I thought now would be a good time to call in. Basically, even with the Drag Queen Story Hour, what a lot of people didn't realize is that all the attacks on those events and on the drag community have a disgusting under mission, and it's about eradicating trans people. It started with the whole bathroom thing, and it started with, it continued on, and now it's legislature. Florida is forcing people to detransition within a year. Tennessee is looking to pass the bill to outlaw, like, not presenting as your sex you were assigned at birth. This affects a whole host of people, but is targeted largely at the trans community. And considering all of the queer rights that we have, really being able to be traced back to trans women of color fighting, I want our community to stand up and realize you shouldn't have to wait until it affects your cis drag performers. Okay, and of course drag has a whole host of people who do drag, including trans and non-binary people. But it's like once you have, oh, this is a man, but he's in a dress, and that's all of a sudden not okay. It's like, where were you? Where were you when everything else that led to this was going on? It shouldn't take, now it affects me, for people to speak up and stand up. And I really just want people to be aware of the route that this is taking. The Supreme Court is not upholding gay marriage. What do you think is next? They took away women's rights. That was a precursor. Nobody cared if it didn't affect them. It took away bodily autonomy, which led the path to, oh, now we can tell people that they can't get gender-affirming surgeries or treatment, and no kid is getting surgery. That is not allowed. A minor is not allowed surgery. Maybe puberty blockers, but they're not even putting them on estrogen or testosterone. So people who are up in arms thinking that children are being mutilated are just out of touch with reality. And I want people to do their homework and do their research and know what's actually happening and be prepared for what's coming next. Because this legislature is still just the tip of the iceberg, and it is going to get worse. Thank you so much for hearing me out. I wish I could have called in real time and had a discussion with you instead of just like...
Instead of what?
Instead of, I ran out of time.
What's in the box?
Oh, God. And Matt Winter
Good.
said exactly, taking away their rights will drive people to self-harm. And, I mean, it's true. It's true. They don't realize, the effect that this is actually going to have, you know what I mean? And it's scary. If this is, this is happening in Tennessee, that means that there's a chance that it could happen in more states. It could happen in other places. And, it's a scary thought.
So there's a very famous poem called First They Came.
Mm-hmm.
And most people know it. First they came for the communist, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. And that actually it's from Pastor Martin, and it's about the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, and this is not me fucking, what is it called? Pulling what's it called? Something's law where everything devolves into talking about Hitler. But because there's Godwin's law,
yep.
Everything devolves into talking about Hitler. But this is literally like from Hitler's playbook, is fucking up the news, silencing small communities, and taking out the minorities first, and then eventually coming for the people that you really fucking hate, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take over the fucking country. So it's playbook, and like I love that poem. It's such a good poem. We have a caller.
We have a caller. Caller, you are on the air. Say hello.
Hey guys, it's Lewis. How you guys doing?
Hey Lewis.
Hey, Lewis. It's Crash.
What's up?
So there's a lot of nuance to your discussion, which I found very interesting. There's obviously I don't have like 30 hours to go through it all, but to use a context that I'm familiar with as being a person of color who's an activist. To that young man who became frustrated at the old gentleman who was religious.
Mm-hmm.
People like me and people like us are told when we protest in the street, we're told that's bad. Don't protest on the street. When we protest on the sidewalk, we're told don't protest on the sidewalk. When we're standing in a corner, we're told not to stand in that corner and make noises. When we take a knee in silence, we're told that that's the wrong way to protest. So in that context, you can understand why exactly people get angry at people from the right who, in bad faith, say, "Yes, I'm willing to have a frank and civil discussion with you." They're not looking to have an opinion-based discussion or a factual discussion. They want to tell you you're wrong and they are right, and that is frustrating. That makes everyone angry when you go over there in good faith to say, "Hey, let's have a discussion about this situation," and then someone says, "No, no, 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 you're wrong. Everything that you believe in is wrong." And then when the older gentleman was saying, "I'll pray for you, I'll pray for you, I'll pray for you," fundamentally, he was negating that person's very existence by saying that. By saying, "I'll pray for you," is, I don't believe in you as a person, what you represent and whom you are.
Right.
So he's negating that very person's existence.
And he didn't even want to talk.
Dehumanizing them.
He didn't even open a dialogue with the guy. He just kept saying, "I'll pray for you."
Right. Right.
In your heart, you'll
in
change.
In regards to Kels, you had said you're wondering why they're going hand over fist to attacking LGBTA and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been several think tank study theories upon that. And one of the big issues that they're coming up with is, realistically, conservatives and Republicans and people on the right don't have a strong platform of civic duty or anything like that to do for the citizens of America.
Oh, so we're the scapegoat.
Situations. Yeah, they've been attacking these type of fundamental things because they don't want to have to argue, the train accident in Ohio. They
Right, real politics.
Argue Republicans' inability and cutting veteran funding, attacking schools, things like that. They don't want to address those things. They don't want to address.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about the real problems.
Yeah,
a dude in drag is not a problem, but that Ohio train accident.
Right, because their base, a lot of their base is Midwestern.
Right.
It's Midwestern towards the South. And a lot of those people are religious. A lot of those people, due to gerrymandering, are not getting the resources provided. They're not getting proper health care. They're not getting proper schooling, education, and so on. That's why those people fundamentally believe CRT is being taught to children.
Even though it's a collegiate study.
that it's being taught to children.
It's not like...
Yeah, and with drag, I agree that drag shows that are family friendly should not have those overt sexual themes because it's geared towards family friendliness.
Right.
But we don't need to pass laws saying that you shouldn't do that, because those laws already exist in every state.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, the lewd misconduct.
Those specific laws that are being passed now are to target LGBTA specifically.
Right.
Because if that law was being genuine to the way they're presenting it, then it would attack priests who prey on young men and women. It would target literally anyone, what the laws already exist to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Now, where the scapegoats this go? Like, what did again, Jon Stewart was like, the problem with the news was that they were self-conflating or exacerbating themselves, where they were talking about like the Republicans are hard on crime, and then all Fox News did for like the next week was report on how crime rates are rising.
Yeah.
Like, that's all they did.
Yeah.
Was to be like, well, see, because then the Democrats are in charge. So, like, it was, yeah.
All right. Well, Lewis, I appreciate you calling in.
That was
fantastic. Always
a
coming in with like some great words, and I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate everything you just said, and
I agree with everything you just said. Yeah. Literally, all three of us were just kind of like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
He's out here giving a TED talk.
All right, thanks, buddy.
No, his name's Lewis.
Oh, stop.
Oh, God.
No.
That was deep. That was deep. I love when he calls in. I do. I think he's very well spoken. Had some great words. So if anybody else wants to call in, has any other opinions, now's the time to do that. 508-802-4356. And we'll get you on the show. Anything that we missed or anything that you would like to touch on in terms of conversation.
No touching anything. We're not allowed to touch anything anymore. Jeez. No touching. No touchy. It's bad for you.
Yikes.
The ghost is giggling. right.
We get another phone call. You are on the air. Say hi to the world.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey.
Winters Clan. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Do you have like
Good.
caller ID over
I
there?
do.
Okay,
I do.
that's what it is.
I have-
I just see numbers.
I do. I have it on my phone. I can see. Yeah. So what's up?
So I wanted to Andrew, do you mind telling? Because you said churches.
Yes.
Was it one particular church you grew up in, or
Oh, no.
was it a couple of different ones?
No,
Do you
no,
mind
no.
Telling us.
I would try. Well,
Like,
my
don't go
mo-
to that church.
Yeah. No, my mother. We used to travel around basically all of New England. She did, at least. She traveled around all 3 states. When I'm telling you, she used to travel. She would every Wednesday, Saturday. She'd be in Rhode Island. Every Monday, Wednesday, it was Connecticut. You know what I mean? There was New Hampshire. It was Western Mass. It was all over the place, and it was a common thing in all of the most. I'm sorry, not all, because there were a lot of great places that I was introduced to, but unfortunately, many of them had flawed people in it that were exploiting their power over these kids.
Church that I grew up in was a Roman Catholic church. One of the priests was one of the ones that got relocated during that huge scandal in the 90s. And they were like, oh, pedophiles and priests, okay. And the Vatican just scooped them all up and stuck them somewhere else.
Wow.
Yeah, so one of our priests, and I was like, oh, fuck, I had no idea. But I was a girl, so of course I didn't.
And just to clarify, these are things, the people that I'm specifically speaking about, they have been caught and it's been brought to light. I'm not saying like, oh guys, guess what?
Stay away
I know
from-
some secrets. Like
Yeah.
I'm not
St.
it's not
Bethany's
like
of
that.
Marlborough. There's some
No,
dealers
these
in
are-
there.
Actually, more asking because I was brought up in something similar. I wouldn't say I was groomed in the sexual assault manner, but in the church I grew up in, I was groomed or taught to just submit.
Absolutely, 100%.
Submit to your husband, don't ignore this, ignore that,
Yep.
which led me into
Blindly.
a DV situation for years.
Because of faith. Because of faith.
Terrified
Yep.
of the repercussions
Yeah.
of what would happen if I left.
How did you get through that? If
So-
you don't mind me asking, like, how did you evolve from that, or how did you come to get out of that?
I said enough was enough. I
Just
mean,
woke up.
If
I
it's
was
if it's like
Yeah, you don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
if it's personal, you don't
so
have
it
to.
was like, no, I can, because if I can save one person in my lifetime, if I can save just one person, I've done something right in life.
Right.
So I was strangled not once, not twice, multiple times. But the last time was it. It was enough. My phone was smashed. I couldn't physically call for help, but I was outside. I screamed for help. And one of the neighbors was a firefighter and called for help for me.
Wow.
And I got in my car and I drove to the one place I knew I could get help. So I drove to my work.
Great.
Got on my car, started screaming, and they said, run into the store. So I ran in. They locked the doors. He ran in the front into the lobby area. I was out back. And my coworker rescued me, literally rescued me. So
Well,
you're very
that's
lucky.
how I got out.
I'm
So-
sorry. I'm sorry that you went through any of that, and you are an amazing individual.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
say. So
Brave as
I
fuck.
mean, yeah, that's the fact that and this is the thing that people don't realize too, is that you never know who's going through those kind of things or who's lived through those kind of traumas, because I mean, it could be anybody. It could be absolutely anybody. But you're amazing, and your hubby is amazing. How's the baby?
But he's good.
Oh.
He's crawling. We're in trouble.
Yeah, I know. This is gonna speed out of there.
Oh. Anything else you want to touch on? Any other questions, comments, concerns?
You're making it sound like a customer service line. Do you have any questions, comments,
So,
concerns?
Somebody also mentioned, like, why are they going after the LGBTQIA plus community? And I said it's sleight of hand. Look over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Look at
and that's
what's
what
happening
Lewis
over
had
here
said. Yeah.
While I do something else over here that you're not going to see, and then I'm going to wham everybody. with
Yeah,
it.
Lewis,
So it's-
Lewis had brought that up where he said that, like, here, there's something that we can focus on so we don't have to talk about budgetary cuts for veterans, and we don't have to talk about the train crash in Ohio, and we don't,
Right.
you know,
Right.
the actual issues.
No.
So yeah, it's exactly, it's avoiding actual making
shock and awe,
making issues up that aren't actually issues while ignoring the real.
No, you
problem.
could leave our gay asses be. We're fine. We're happy in our own world. We're good.
Yeah. Give us an island.
We'd have fun.
Oh,
We'd all
God.
eventually die off, but we'd have fun.
All right. Well, Melanie, we appreciate you calling in. Thank you for all of that, and we love you.
Of course. Love you guys.
Thanks, Melanie.
Bye. She fades away. Bye. Oh man.
It's so funny.
Lots of stuff to talk about when it comes to this stuff. It's pretty crazy.
It's intense.
Everybody's got a lot of good opinions too.
Yeah, lots of really great words. You know, and I mean we're lucky too because I think that we have great friends and followers and people around us. You know, and very supportive people, and I think that that's one of the most important things is surrounding yourself with the right people, you know, and being aware of the kinds of people you're surrounding yourself with.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah, you live in an echo chamber.
Look who I'm surrounded by. Look at the people I'm surrounded by. I'm sitting pretty over here.
So if anybody else wants to call in, now's the time to do that. 508-802-4356. And we will take we'll take one more.
We'll take one more. Yeah.
We'll take
another.
This is
And,
the longest stream we've done before.
This is. I was thinking
yeah,
that.
we're 20 minutes in, 20 minutes to 2 hours.
Yeah.
It is.
Which is insane.
Well, it's a serious topic, and I want to make sure that we hit on all notes, all points.
Lot to discuss.
And you know, we give people the opportunity to speak up. And I actually posted on my Facebook page earlier this week that this was what we were going to be talking about, and I opened it up to anybody because, I mean, I am friends with people that are conservative. I am friends with people that are on the other end of the spectrum because I can respect other people for having other opinions, and you know, as long as it's not hurting anybody. And this is one other thing that we've talked about. As long as it's not hurting anybody, then you know, it's really not my business to tell you that you're a bad person because you have a different opinion. So I did open it up to everybody. You know, and I was kind of hoping that somebody would call in. I had somebody that I spoke to yesterday or the day before that said that they were going to call in, and there's somebody that is actually against drag story time. And you know, I said, don't give me your reasons. I said, you know, if you want to call in, you can call in and we'll discuss it. I had somebody else that's you know that was going to call in that said that they would never bring their kids to a drag story time, and I'm genuinely curious where they're coming from, and I do want to hear their opinions and their side of things. Because again, you know, dialogue is the most important thing, and having conversations is the most important thing. It's the only way that you're going to make any change. So it's
and it's like watching that video from Kitty, and again, go fall down a flight of stairs backwards. But
she was on Fox News.
Yeah, do you understand?
Yeah,
That's very reputable.
But that one point has been resonating with me for the whole 45 minutes to ever since I heard it, which was like, oh man, you know, maybe they've got a little bit of a point of exposing kids to drag shows and to drag queens in a public setting.
Right.
Because my brain went, oh, I remember what it was like when I was a kid.
Right.
And kids have access to so much more knowledge than I had when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like I watched scrambled porn on Cinemax.
Oh, I think I saw a nipple.
Right, like it through the snow.
Yeah.
And like now
Spice
kids
Channel, the
have
Spice Channel.
access to Pornhub and TikTok and all types of shit. Those are two very extreme things, but like
two extremely different
yeah,
things.
Pornhub is straight up Pornhub.
All the
but
interweb
like,
things
they
that
have
the
access
kids
to
do.
TikTok and can see the lewd and suggestive things. And you know, in my head I went, oh.
But the responsibility lies in the parent.
The responsibility does lie in the parent, but also, no offense to some of y'all, but parents are fucking stupid.
Yeah,
they're stupid.
Yeah,
and I know that your kids are clever little shits, and they will get
and
away.
Naive.
Clever
They're
little
naive.
shits.
They are.
And
I think parents are very naive when it comes to their own kids, where they turn around and go, "Not my angel," and it's like, "No, fuck you. Your angel's wanking into a sock in another room." Like
What? Were you at my house when I was? What I was doing?
I'm just saying, like,
You didn't use this sock.
I'm wearing that sock right now. No, I'm just...
You're not wearing socks. That's come in my boot.
Oh,
But I'm just saying, like, your little angel definitely is figuring some shit out, and I honestly think that some parents have like blinders on when it comes to that particular thing. So like, yeah, if you're bringing your little kids to drag shows just to normalize seeing boys in makeup and boys wearing dresses, that's one thing. But once you start bringing the whole drag into it, like drag performances, you're gonna end up seeing shit on TikTok and YouTube, and that's where all the lewd stuff lives. So like now I got a little bit of an internal debate going on, being like, oh, how far? Yeah, I was like, how far do we push
Where's
that?
line?
Where's the line?
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah.
Interesting.
I also think a lot of parents are very uncomfortable talking about sexuality to their kids.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, opens up the whole dialogue of like when is it appropriate to have those kinds of conversations in school. Like, I mean, I remember in health class, I remember in 5th grade we talked about puberty. Like, we had a whole thing where they separated the boys in one room and the girls in the other room, and they started talking about puberty. And then when I was in high school, they did the whole, you know, condom on a banana thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, when is it time to have that conversation, and how do we make that an appropriate conversation, you know, for the school system, and because there are kids out there, like, everybody can't be like, well, I'll teach my kid that at home, because there are kids that don't have parents that are going to teach them, or don't have access to,
about it.
You know, that kind of knowledge or whatever. And I mean, it's you know, it is what it is.
What did you say?
They get squeaky about it. Squeaky. I mean, your dad's a doctor, right?
Yeah. Psychologist.
So like I remember I walked in one day and I was just like, I'm on my period. I am not in a good mood. And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I have endometriosis. And he went, oh. Like, he completely fucking got it. And I was like, oh, I learned something new about you today.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know a lot about a little.
All right. So with all that being said, guys, I think we've reached the end of our show. And, I mean, obviously, I want to thank you guys for being on the show and having this conversation with me and us and the world. And you guys, the viewers, for tuning in. You know, and I know it was a very serious conversation. And next week, we'll dive back into some funny stuff, I promise. But as of right now, if you guys want to donate, I actually, I wasn't really pushing for this before, but I am requesting that you guys help us out, because we do want to upgrade our equipment. We want to upgrade our studio. So please, if you can, we have a PayPal, we have a Venmo, we have a Cash App. They're down at the bottom of the screen. Feel free to send us a little something, because these guys, you know, they donate their time to be here every single week, and I do appreciate them doing that. And, you know, I appreciate the behind-the-scenes people, and I appreciate Bert for making
I was like, Bert
making our merchandise,
knitting a blanket in the corner.
Making our sweatshirts and our merchandise and all that. We have a lot of things that people are donating their time for.
We have someone knitting
and
in the corner.
It would be nice. It would be nice for you guys to, you know, to help us out, to contribute and everything.
What happened with the paperclip challenge?
We'll talk about the paperclip challenge next week. I keep
blanket.
saying we're going to talk about it, and we haven't. We have moved forward with it. So next week I'll tell you where we're at, and then if anybody wants to jump in and help us out with the paperclip challenge, we'll do that. But as of right now, yeah, this is the end of our show.
This is the end.
And until next time, you guys were just in time for some just in time, but we have hit the end. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Oh, actually, wait, before I go.
Oh no, but wait, there's more.
That
but
reminds
wait,
me.
There's more.
We're actually going to be switching to Wednesdays starting next week.
Fucking final.
Yeah, we have changed
Finally,
from Tuesdays
it's
to
happened
Wednesdays.
to me.
And we're also going to be adding some new people to our crew. So,
oh my god!
But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next time, and you guys will see those people. So
fun and exciting.
That is the end. All right, guys.
Surprise!
Bye.
Bye.
What the fuck was that?
Oh my
bro?
god!
You sure? Oh my god! Did you just drop your phone?
No.
Baby, I'm that guy. Nothing off limits when I cross the line. I talk shit when I'm justified. They wanna get it, I'ma give it to them. Who's that? Baby, I'm that guy. Nothing off limits when I cross the line. I talk shit when I'm justified.